Everyone, I'm back. I've cut my pieces and we're going to be putting together two cards today. I have to tell you, I hated cutting into this paper pad. I ended up with a huge stack of scraps that I will probably use on other cards, but yeah, it was hard to cut into it, all that beautiful paper, but I did it. So let's go ahead and get started on our first card. I do want to tell you that there is a thunderstorm happening right now as I'm videotaping, so if you hear thunder in the background, that's what's happening. We're going to start with a card base of basic white that measures 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4.25. We'll go ahead and give that a good crease with our bone folder. And I have some different pieces here. I will give you the measurements for all of these. First we have a plaid piece. This measures 3.5 by 5.5. Then I have a focal image that I cut from the paper pack that is 3 by 3. I have a piece to back that measures 3.25 by 3.8, which I know is not square, but we're going with it. And then I have a piece that I cut a border out with. This is the punch I use, which is super old. I think it was Stampin' Up. But you can use any border punch that you have. Or you don't even have to use a border punch. You can just cut the piece however. This measured 1.5 by 6 inches. Then we have a piece of ribbon that is approximately 9 inches, which is way more than we need. We'll be cutting that down, but I wanted to make sure I had enough. This is Misty Moonlight from Stampin' Up. Any blue ribbon that you have or color coordinating ribbon will do. So let's go ahead and get started. Our card is going to open up like this, and the first thing we're going to do is glue this. Actually, we use a tape runner, I think. We're going to glue this green piece to the top of our card. Oh, I love this pattern too. I really hate not using it. Okay, so let's line this up at the top of our card. Oops, and you know what? I must have been a little bit off on my cutting. I'm going to have to trim that. Let me get my guillotine trimmer. Because I obviously didn't do a very good job at measuring that paper. But that's okay. This is why I have a guillotine trimmer, just for this purpose. Okay. So we have that. And then we're going to take the this piece. Oh, and you know what? I should have put the ribbon on that first. Oh well, we're just gonna keep going. If you're gonna add the ribbon, then put the ribbon on to this. Put this piece on here and put the ribbon on there first so that you can hide the ends of the ribbon. I didn't do that, but we're gonna have to keep going. So I'm going to put adhesive on this piece. And hopefully this piece will fit. And I'm just lining this up so that we have a little bit of white border showing. And I'm just using the lines on the pattern paper. And we'll go ahead and trim the excess off. This pattern paper is really thick. It's like cardstock. I really like that about Echo Park and Carta Bella. You really get a good quality paper from them. Okay. Well, we'll go ahead and put the ribbon on. Even though it's going to show on the back. So, let's see. Actually, I think what I'll do, because I really don't want that ribbon showing, is I'm not going to use the ribbon. I'm going to come back to our paper pad here. And let me see here. I think we're going to just use a strip of blue. Do I want light blue or do I want dark blue? We have a lot of light blue going on. Let's go with the dark blue. We're going to get the paper trimmer out again. And we're just going to cut a little strip to help cover that seam. I'm going to cut my fingers off soon if I'm not careful with that. Okay, let's use some liquid glue for this. So we have a little bit of wiggle room here. I really wanted to use that ribbon, but I did not want that showing on the back there. That would be a little tacky, I think. Okay, so we have the ribbon, and we'll trim or the paper rather. We'll trim the paper real quick here. Whoops. Oh, and I got glue on there, but that's okay. It's going to be covered up. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and adhere the focal image to the mat. You guys, I'm really excited because I ended up, which way do we want this? I ended up upgrading my, some people might say it was a downgrade, but I figure it's an upgrade, my markers. And I'm going to trim this focal image down a little bit, or this mat. I ended up ordering the Spectrum Noir Tri-Blend markers. I'm super excited. They're not here yet, but I'm really looking forward to playing around with them and seeing if I like them better than the Copics. I know I will definitely like them better than the Stampin' Blends. I'm just not a fan of the Stampin' Blends. Sorry if you are, but they just are not my thing. Okay, we're going to pop up this sentiment, or this focal image, with dimensionals. I'm not putting in a sentiment on the inside. You certainly could do that. I'm just going to make this kind of a note card where you can write a message to your recipient, a little note to brighten their day. Okay, and then our focal image is going to go, let's try to get it straight here. I think that looks good. It's going to go just like that. And we're going to bling it up, absolutely, of course. We're going to be using the Tencel Gems from Stampin' Up. I can get them open. Green or blue? I kind of want to bring out the blue. So we're going to do blue. Hopefully they will go. It's a different color blue, but I think it will still kind of go together. And we'll just frame our sentiment here a little bit using the different sizes. If I can pick them up. Well, I'm always struggling with these things, aren't I? There we go. I think that's so cute. It's a beautiful life. Super simple and quick and easy with these papers. So that is our card number 1. Let's get started on our card number 2. Let me just move my bits and pieces aside for the moment. And as usual, my allergies are acting up. I apologize for that. Okay, we'll bring these pieces out. And I will give you the measurements. We have a card base of basic white that again measures 8.5 by 5.5, scored and folded at 4 1/4. And whoa, and I messed up on that. Obviously, I don't know what I did, but that is not the right size. Hold on while let me grab another piece of basic white. I am not sure what happened there. I was in a hurry trying to get my pieces cut so that you didn't have to wait too long. All right, let's try that again. So we're going to cut this at 5.5 and score it at 4 1/4. I'm not sure what happened there. Okay, that's better. There we go. Set that aside. Okay, we have a piece of beige cards or pattern paper that measures 5 1/2 by 4 1/4, so it's the same size as our card base. Then I have my focal image, which is 3 by 4. I have 2 strips that measure 3/8 of an inch by 6. We have a tractor strip, which measures 7/8 of an inch by 6. And then we have a plaid strip that measures 2 by 6. So let's start by putting our beige piece onto the card front. And we're going to use liquid glue for that, which gives us a little bit of wiggle room. And it does look like we're going to need to trim this one down too. My measurements were, my cutting was way off today on both cards. So give that a quick trim. Okay. Let me think. I gotta think of what I'm doing here. This one is going to go... I need to look at my notes here because now I'm not remembering how I was going to do this card. Let's see. I have a sketch over here that I was going to follow. If I can find it. Okay, well, I can't find it, so we're just going to go with it, and hopefully I remember how I wanted to do this. I think I wanted to go something like this, with this bit in this kind of down a little bit from the center. So we'll go ahead and glue this. This is obviously way too long, but we'll trim it up. I have so much stuff on my desk, it's hard to follow what I'm doing here. So we're going to go down a little bit less than center, just like that. And then we'll trim the edges off. There we go. And then we're going to take this tractor piece, and this is going to go in the center of our plaid piece. We'll use the lines on our paper to help keep that straight if possible. Oh, I love how it looks already. It's so cute. Okay, we have our little narrow strips we're gonna use to cover up the seams on our card. And I used this color because I wanted to pull in the, whatever this is kind of a bricky orange. I wanted to bring that color in from the focal image, which has a little bit of that color in it. There we go. And then we'll do the other one. My son loves chickens and goats and farm stuff, and I feel bad for him because we live in the city, so we can't have any of that stuff. I sure wish we were able to live in the country on a little farm. We would all be in seventh heaven, except for my husband. He's a city boy. He grew up in London, and I don't think he would appreciate it. Somehow. I always say if I win the lottery, I'm going to get a little farm, and he says I'm going to move to the city, get an apartment. All right, there's that. And now we're going to take our focal image, which says We will love you till the cows come home. We're going to pop that up on dimensionals. Love the little goose paper on the back of the image. So cute. All of these papers are just adorable. It was really hard to choose what I was going to use because I love them all, and I think I'm going to be going back to this paper pack and making some more cards later because it's just too cute not to use. Okay, we're going to line this up. And let's see. Try to center it. That looks pretty good. There we go. And of course we need some bling. So this time I think we're going to bring in the green ones. Let's see, where do we want to put them this time? I think this time we're going to go off onto the back mat here. There we go. And that is our second card. It's so cute. I hope you enjoyed this video. Here's our first card that we did. And I hope you will go over to Echo Park and grab that paper pad and play around with it for yourself because this was a blast. Thank you so much, everyone. I really appreciate it when you come to my page, my YouTube channel, and you like, you subscribe, and you leave comments. It really makes my day. So we will see you next time. Have a great day. Bye.